Mountain Subvet here. Today we're going to be looking at the Ruger LCP Custom. You know it is the Custom by the red trigger. We're going to go ahead and check it, make sure it is a clear gun, which it is. Clear and safe. So here we go. Let's talk about the LCP Custom. First off, if you're familiar with the LCP, you're probably already familiar with the Custom. It's been out a little while, but let's just cover the differences. They put the wider, better, the skeletonized trigger on it. They put full-size sights. I'll come back to that in a minute. That's really important. Then they also swapped out that plastic guide rod for a metal guide rod. So a lot of the complaints about the LCP are often about the base model, but this is a much improved trigger, and the sights make it a pretty accurate little gun. So this is for the LCP Custom. I would recommend spend the extra. I think it was $15 more for all these upgrades, and it really makes it worth it. I have not shot the original LCP, so I can't comment on the difference on the trigger between this and that. I can tell you I read a lot of horror stories about the trigger, but then I also bought this, shot this, and really enjoyed it. So the horror stories did not come true for me. Now, that being said, keep in mind this is also a super, super popular pistol. I mean, almost everyone has one. So the complaints you do see, realize just how many of these are out in the market, and then look at the ratio of complaints with that. All right, let me cover real quick the specs on it. I won't go into weight and all of that, but it is a 6-round magazine, came with it, just the one magazine. Did come with the pinky extension. It's actually not pinky, but second finger extension here, which makes it very easy to hold. I have not shot it without that on, but I can imagine I would not like it. I would have 1.5 fingers gripping. This really makes it easy to keep a hold of it. So it is a 6+1 capacity. It is a double action only with a hammer. Now, that being said, it does not have restrike capability. So if you have a round that fails to fire, just go ahead and do your tap and rack drill and clear it like most people do anyways. But the reason I like restrike capability is for laser training systems. If you're going to use one of the laser shooting systems and you want to use a real pistol that you'll be training with, then the restrike is nice for that. So, all right, let's talk about these sights. As you can see, it has full-size sights on here. I can tell you something, I am accurate with this gun. I actually bought the SIG P238. You've probably heard me talk about it in some of my other videos. I bought the 238 to be a carry option, and then I saw this on sale. I think I paid $212 for it online, and I went ahead and picked it up. I thought if I didn't like it, you know, I could sell it for how cheap it was. I could just keep it as a truck gun or something. In the end, I ended up shooting this and enjoying it so much that I sold the SIG. This actually outshot the SIG in my hands for me. Now, that being said, I'm perfectly okay with the double action only trigger. Some people aren't. The SIG is a single action on the 238. It's like a mini 1911, so you carry it cocked and locked. This, I like having double action only. I'll carry one in the pipe. I'll carry it in my pocket, carry it in the waistband, in a jacket pocket. It really just is a go anywhere gun. This thing is tiny, so just to kind of show, I don't have the biggest hands in the world, but it really just disappears. Now, let's talk about how I can carry it. One is the sticky holster. This is the SM2 size, SM2, and it works great as a pocket holster. I will tell you, do not, in my opinion, buy a sticky holster in the waistband. I don't care how they advertise it. I don't care what they say. It, in my experience, will fall out of your waistband, hopefully in a private setting and not in public. But I would not ever trust this in my waistband. I did try it around the house. It fell onto the carpet. So it was immediately taken off the waistband option. It is, however, wonderful for in the pocket. See if you can see this here. Not really in frame, but it just disappears. I've gone on, 12-mile hikes or 6-mile hikes with this and not really even noticed it was there. Forgot it was there. Wearing some actually jeans on one short hike and cargo pants on another. I did come across this in the waistband holster, Now this here is made by Murph's Custom Leather in China Grove, North Carolina. That's Murph's Custom Leather, China Grove, North Carolina. I love it. It's absolutely the perfect holster for me. So it just goes in the waistband. This little gun just disappears. It's gone. Easy on, easy off. Forget it's there a lot of the time. In fact, I've gotten so spoiled by the LCP that I've had a really, really tough time. I've been trying to find a good 9mm option to carry, and I've just become spoiled by the size of this, and so everything just feels too big. More on that later, but looks like I'm going with the PT709 for now. Let's talk about the gripes on this gun. I do have a few things I really wish were different about it. One, as I said, is it does not have the restrike capability. That's mine, or a lot of guns don't. Second one is that it requires a tool to take down. I am not a fan of requiring a tool to take down. Not only does it require a tool, as you could see, it required me to get in here and pry, and that's metal on metal, and it actually is right across the LCP logo here, so I'm getting lots of scrapes just from taking it apart and cleaning it. You can see I'm actually wearing the nitron off there. Don't like that. So that is the secondary complaint. While we're in here, everything is as you would expect. You've got 2 recoil springs nested, and it is not captive, so the guide rod will come out. Again, you get that metal upgraded guide rod with the custom barrel and slide. Everything just works really well on this gun. I've never had any sort of a jam or failure to fire or failure to feed anything on it, and I've ran probably at this point maybe 600 rounds through it, so I've really had a lot of fun with it. People say it's not a range gun, it's not one I want to shoot a lot. I've ran 100 rounds through it without a problem and enjoyed it. The recoil is very manageable. It's not bad at all, especially considering how small and light it is. So then when putting this back together, it's kind of annoying. You actually have to pry down a little piece of metal, retaining metal here, at a 45-degree angle. So we'll go ahead and see if I... Whoop, hold on. Make sure while I'm talking and worrying about the camera, I may have not got this seated properly. All right. Oh, you know what? The hammer, I have a magazine in, and the hammer was forward. I don't know if that stopped it, but there we go. So, you know, you're worried about a video, watching what you say, watching where you hold it, how you hold it, critiquing yourself. It's easy to forget something small. I'm going to go ahead and put this retaining pin back in. There we go. Snaps back into place, and there we go. Okay. Last thing, you may have just also noticed with this in, the last gripe I have with it, and this is actually almost a deal breaker. It's not in the end for me, it might be for you. This does not have lock open on last shot. You have to manually lock it open yourself. So you'll do that last shot, pow, and you'll be wondering, do I have one more or not? And the only way to tell, pull back and peek. There is a little gap here, so that's nice. You can look in here and you can see brass through there, so visually you can see if one's there. But if you're in the heat of it, if something's going on, last thing you want to do is be looking in a hole to see if you have another shot left. If you lost count in the panic, the lock open would be a wonderful, wonderful feature on this. But unfortunately it doesn't have it. For the price point though, I can't complain. I can highly, highly recommend it. This is a go anywhere deep concealment gun. It does what it's supposed to do. I'm accurate with it. I've been out to 30 yards with it, accurate. And I mean, it's not, you're not going to be competing with it at that distance, but you're still hitting the target. You know, you're hitting center mass. You're able to close and to further out. You know, hopefully you don't have to use it at that distance in maybe a terrorist type scenario, but up close, I mean, no problem at all. I can point and shoot this thing. I can wrap off the rounds pretty quickly and hit everything I'm pointing it at and do pretty well. In fact, again, I shot as well with this as I did with the SIG 238. I could not tell a difference. Sometimes this was better, sometimes that was better, and in the end, for the extra, what, $300-400 for the SIG, I just got this and I rolled that money into a 9mm. So think that's about it. So it's cool. Great little gun, highly recommended. And if you have a chance to try it out and shoot one, do it, because you'll probably end up buying it, at least while the prices are low. So, all right, if you have any questions about it, please let me know in the comments, and I will be sure to get back to you as soon as possible. I hope this video is helpful for you. Other people's videos are helpful for me, so I decided to try my hand at making them. All right, again, this is Mountain Sub Vet. Take care.